you step up onto my deck, this deck originally was here because there was a swimming pool back here. Very large concrete box that probably dated back to the 1930s. When I redid the garden after we took out the pool, I liked this spot very much. Actually, what we're looking at is an addition here that didn't exist until 1999. So this yard has changed tremendously. I'll sweep back around. This is the view from the deck. When the wisteria is blooming, this is just heaven. And my husband and I have lunch here and dinner as often as possible. When we took out the pool and the old deck, we revealed this Japanese maple and had the idea that this could be an Asian garden. We've always loved a seated Buddha statue from one of our first dates in San Francisco's Golden Gate Park, when we fell in love with one another as well as with the Buddha statue that we encountered in the Japanese tea garden. So Buddha's here. Japanese gardens are supposed to have a sense of enclosure and a water feature, so this is just a notional water feature with a dry creek bed. They're not supposed to have statues. Temples have statues, but not gardens. But I've decided this is not an authentic Japanese garden. It's an Asian style garden, so I can do what I want. At one point I had a little bamboo fence along here, which don't last. Someday I hope that my son and husband will get re-motivated and build one again. Now we'll walk through the archway. Originally I thought about a Torii gate here, but I had an extra arch, and of course one can always plant more climbing roses, so I planted Zephyringerine on the right and of course Crepuscule on the left. Mutabilis has to get hacked and hacked and hacked because it would fill 3 times this space at least. But it's wonderful in this back corner. And this concept of this back fence was originally just to be shrubs of different types. And I really worked on different interesting colored shrubs. I love this little combination here with the Little John bottle brush and a barberry. And then behind it, the Teucrium fruticosa, I believe it is. But of course, any spot can also benefit from some roses, so roses have gotten added. I need to work a little bit on grandmother's hat to have her grow a little bit less sprawling, but right now I'm just going to enjoy the blooms. There's another little spot behind the garage, and every little spot should be planted with roses and clematis and whatever else one wants to enjoy. We'll look at a Homer for a minute. Homer tends to ball, is not a great rose, although when the buds are wonderful, they're really wonderful, and they will last in a vase for a very long time. This was one of the original buttonhole roses. I used to have a large handle rose back here that just got more and more diseased and pathetic, and I read that albas do well in shadier spots. This is Alba semiplena. And it is in its first year of growing. I planted it last year. This is Souvenir de St. Anne's, the semi-double sport of Souvenir de la Malmaison, with a fabulous clematis behind it that repeat blooms. Bought that from Sherry Berkland, and it's one of the best clematis you could grow, I would think, at least here. This is so-called Little Mermaid. It's mammoth. The only thing little about it is its flowers. I bought that from Ralph Moore and at Sequoia Nursery, and it's a constant battle. But I do, like I said, I can't take out roses very readily, and I do love how it blooms. I did take out the Madame Alfred Carrière that I had on this back fence because it was just unmanageable. I have back here I also have Joacine Hannay or Portland from Glendora. There's an eglantine. Talk about potentially unmanageable, but I keep it pruned. And all the way in the back is Dr. Robert Korn's which is a noisette rose, and it's doing quite well, but not yet blooming. I'm going to sweep back around here so you can kind of get the view across. And there you see the planting beds that I put in lieu of the swimming pool. The roses pretty well protect you from seeing it when you go down the front gates, but and down the front path. But back here's where we grow my husband's beloved tomatoes, and I have them just about ready to put in. There's not much room for roses or light for roses here against the garage and guest room that I have, but ballerina does quite nicely even though it's not ready to bloom.